What's going on YouTube? Flashy here, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new game, Hood, Outlaws and Legends. So this game might have slipped under most of your guys' radar, as it almost did mine. I saw the trailer for Hood a little while back, and it immediately intrigued me because it looked like a multiplayer Assassin's Creed, a series I'm a huge fan of. So some months went by, and I didn't think too much of this game until literally yesterday. I saw some people playing it on YouTube, only to find out that it officially released today, May 7th, if you pre-purchased it. If you didn't pre-purchase it, it comes out on May the 10th. I went right to Steam, bought the game, and have been playing it over the last few hours now, and I thought I'd give my overall first impressions. In the background, you'll see some gameplay of my first few matches. First off, what is Hood, Outlaws and Legends? Hood is an online multiplayer 4 vs 4 PvPvE stealth capture the flag style game. Now, for those of you that don't know, PvPvE means you spawn into a map where there are computer AI opponents as well as human controlled players roaming the battlefield. The objective of the game is relatively simple: loot the vault key, steal the chest, and extract it before the other team does. However, Hood goes much deeper than that and actually provides a ton of suspenseful as well as action-packed moments within its heists, which are what the matches are called. Working together to keep yourselves unseen works best, as if a guard notices anyone on either team, the rest of the guards will be alerted and enter an attack mode. Each team of 4 will spawn on opposite sides of the map and fight their way through the stronghold in order to locate the big bad sheriff. This armored out knight cannot be killed, so you must stealthily pickpocket him and grab the coveted vault key. Once the vault key is secured, you must find the vault, grab the chest full of loot, and deliver it to the designated extraction zone. First team to successfully extract the chest wins the match, as well as its riches. Now, you might be asking, what happens if one team does all the work, begins their extract, but dies halfway through? Well, just as thieves do, the other team can pick up the last few seconds of the extract and secure the win. But we'll get into all that later. Let's talk about the various classes available. You have 4. The long-range bowman, Robin the Hunter. The up-close tank brawler, John. The ball and chain wielding healer, Took. And finally, the invisible crossbow wielding Marianne. Each class offers a very unique playstyle and take on the battlefield, which was very refreshing to see. Choosing Robin the bowman and getting caught in the middle of a fistfight will likely lead to your death, so you'll have to play your angles and control the range properly. This was one of the first things I noticed when jumping into Hood, and I was thoroughly surprised by that. I basically just assumed you can pick whoever you want and you'll be fine, but you'll actually have to play to your character's strengths and put yourself in the proper position to get closer to your goal. Next up is team synergy, and I noticed that teams that do the best have one of each of the 4 classes, which further drives the point home of each class having their place within the heist, which is honestly awesome. Now, on the surface, this game might seem a bit daunting. It seems like a ton of communication, game knowledge, and awareness is needed to excel at it. While yes, that of course is true, jumping into my first few matches, even as a solo queue with voice chat turned off, it was incredibly intuitive. Now, I don't know if I just got lucky with my teammates, but every single game seemed to work how it was supposed to, especially during the later stages of the match. And speaking of that, each game is kind of broken down into 3 separate instances. The opening stage, where each team is searching for the warden and his key. The second phase, where a team has located the chest and are transporting it to an extract. And finally, the third phase is the extract itself, which is also my favorite part of each match. In phase 1, I felt the pains of being a solo queue, but honestly, I was having so much fun sniping unknowing NPCs in the back of the head while sieging a castle that I didn't even care. Eventually, you get the notice that someone has found the key and is searching for the vault, and this is where phase 2 begins. You'll quickly begin to find out where the enemy team or your team is congregating in order to escort the chest, and then it just turns into an all-out brawl to the extract, which now leads me to my favorite part of every match, the extract. If you guys ever played Headquarters in a Call of Duty game, it's exactly like that. A singular location marked on the map where everyone is just sprinting to in order to take control of. You have Robins launching arrows in over the hills, Johns completely bum rushing in with their hammer to smash people winching the chest out, and meanwhile the NPCs will take notice of all this and head over to the extract, which adds even more bodies to the cluster. Some of the most fun moments have happened for me when the enemy team was 1 or 2 checkpoints away from winching the chest out. We kill all of them and secure the last checkpoint and get the win after losing the entirety of the match. But now on the flip side, some of my most frustrating moments came from dominating an entire match and losing the last fight by a few points of health, and the enemy team extracts and wins. But overall, this adds an amazing dynamic to the game, because if your team is getting steamrolled, you can still clutch out the win at the very end, which is an amazing feeling, because I thought when I first jumped into this game, if we start losing at the beginning of the game, it's over. They're just going to extract the chest and that's it. But you can literally win after losing the entire game, and some people might find that frustrating, but to me that is a ton of fun, because even if you're doing the steamrolling, you have to be on edge because that last second can ruin everything and you can lose. Or if your team is getting completely worked the entire time, you can clutch it out at that very last second, kill off the 4 people extracting the chest, and you just take over the last couple checkpoints and you take it from there. And now next, let's talk about one of my favorite components of any game, which is customization. And there's actually quite a bit of it in Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, ranging from strictly cosmetics to various perk loadouts to maximize the efficiency of your playstyle. Now, I can already tell that there's definitely going to be some cosmetics available for real money in microtransaction form, which disappoints me. However, I was very surprised with the base game's incentives on the customization. Many of the cosmetics are unlockable through ranking up the character or your hideout, which gives you a reason to play the different characters or just max out your main and unlock all of their weapons and costumes. And being the completionist that I am, I'll definitely be maxing out every character in order to unlock all the different perks and skins that they have to offer. This also leaves room for a ton of DLC down the line, with each character getting loads of new weapons and skins, hopefully for in-game grinding, but I am sure that eventually there'll be some sort of battle pass system implemented down the line. However, speaking of DLC, something that will definitely shake this game up quite a bit in a few months will be the addition of new characters. Now, I'm not sure if this is something that devs have touched on, but adding new characters with new weapons and abilities will definitely shake up the meta in a hopefully positive way, because these 4 characters that are in the game already make such a difference. I touched on it a little bit before, where the teams that do the best have one of each character because they all do such unique things. And now if you shake up that meta and add 1 or 2 new characters that do something completely different, and then maybe add some maps that can highlight these DLC characters or anything like that, the opportunities are just endless, and all the different team comps that you can make is absolutely awesome. And I'm sure that eventually super competitive parties that play this game will find like some unbelievable team comps that are just absolutely disgusting, like 2 Robins, a Mystic, and a John. Like, there's just so much opportunity there for team synergy and team comps that I'm super excited to see what they do with that. I hope they add more people down the line, but that's also a tricky line because if they're completely overpowered, everyone's going to get mad. If they're underpowered, people are going to be disappointed. So it's going to be walking a very fine line. I really like the 4 classes that they have in the game at launch. Some people might say that some classes outweigh the others, but again, that just goes back to my point of if you play your class where it's supposed to be played, that's when you'll get the maximum benefit out of it. Like when I'm running around as Robin and I'm just trying to get in the middle of the action, I'm just punching with my bow, I get absolutely destroyed. Whereas someone that's playing John, if they're running in with their big sledgehammer, they're going to destroy everybody, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. So as a Robin player, I need to kind of be on the outskirts and stay in the bushes or up on top of the perches and lay down some very accurate headshots in order to actually do something for my team. So I really like that. I like how each character has to be in their place, and that kind of changes up the playstyle and makes every map feel really unique, because depending on who you play completely changes the dynamic of where you're going to be on the map at each phase. Overall, I really like that this game took a very unique approach to the current multiplayer landscape we're in. It didn't settle to be a BR or some medieval looter shooter, but rather it decided to be its own game. Honestly, I don't even know what genre to call Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. I just call it a stealth capture the flag game when I'm describing it. Also, it dropped at a very fair price point of $30, and that was pretty well received in my eyes. Being a strictly multiplayer game with only 1 game mode doesn't really warrant a $60 game, and for the devs to understand that but still deliver an addictive game loop where each match feels different is quite a bit of fresh air. Outside of the occasional wonkiness of close quarters PvP combat and the occasional server hitch, Hood is a game that really surprised me, and honestly, as soon as I'm done editing this video, I'm about to jump back into it for the rest of the night because I just want to keep playing and leveling up my characters. I am extremely interested to see what the development cycle of Hood, Outlaws, and Legends looks like because there is a ton of potential here. But overall, that wraps up my initial review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you decide to pick it up and which class you've been playing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.